The fish monster's ugly, massive body was embedded into the wall, and the blood moon demon bird immediately began to roar in anger. It relied solely on its agility to escape being crushed, spreading its wings to fly over. The falling fish monster. The blood moon demon bird flapped its enormous wings, its human-faced bird-like eyes rolling as if in thought. It realized that with its own strength alone, it couldn't shake the human wearing the black and gold armor. So the blood moon demon bird began to call out continuously. I understood that it wasn't just roaring in anger, but using its bloodline's suppression power to summon all the incompletely transformed monsters present to attack me. The originally extremely vigilant monsters' flesh and blood squirmed on their bodies, their faces becoming even more terrifying, and they let out angry roars. Several monsters simultaneously abandoned the flesh at their mouths and lunged at me together. The blood moon demon bird quietly flew to the ceiling, attempting to launch a surprise attack. I formed a sword with my right hand, and the primordial purple energy behind me instantly transformed into a sharp giant axe glowing with black and gold light. Facing the hideous monsters before me, I advanced instead of retreating, stomping the ground with a force that cracked it, charging at the four monsters like a gale, twisting my body mid-air, the giant axe in my hand swirling like a dragon. Accompanied by a flash of blade light, the four mutated monsters were almost simultaneously sliced into two. The blood moon demon bird above me screeched and suddenly lunged at me, intending to fight to the death, but at that moment I grinned and swung the heaven-opening axe upward. A beam of light was magnified by the heaven-opening axe, and the blood moon demon bird was directly sliced in half by me. After I ended the blood moon demon bird, the entire classroom fell silent. My actions left the students present in awe, and the monsters also sensed the powerful aura of the Pangu bloodline emanating from me, each one stopping their actions and looking at me. Without any hesitation, I leaped forward, swiftly attacking the remaining monsters with lightning speed. In 3 minutes, all the beasts in the classroom were cleared out. It was at this moment that the survivors in the classroom began clamoring to leave, and I coldly walked up to the podium.
Everyone quiet down!
I spoke, and the classroom instantly fell silent.
The apocalypse has arrived and there are monsters everywhere outside. If you want to survive, listen to me!
As soon as I finished speaking, a massive hellhound outside the door bared its fangs, sticking out its tongue as it looked at the people inside the classroom, its deep growls echoing through the room. At this critical moment, a girl in the crowd screamed, causing the hellhound to become agitated. I frowned, my gaze fixed on the hellhound outside the classroom door. In the past, this hellhound evolved by hunting wildly at the school, eventually transforming into a three-headed hellhound, becoming the overlord of Cloud City. If not for the timely arrival of high-level transcendence, the entire Cloud City would have become its food. This time I didn't plan to take action myself, but instead gave Xiao Wanru a look. Seeing my signal, Xiao Wanru gathered the Bishao Divine Thunder in her palm, and the phantom of the Qinglin longsword appeared. Caught off guard, a divine thunder struck the hellhound. As the dust settled, the hellhound's body was charred black. Truly, the Bishao Divine Thunder is known for subduing evil spirits. This completely enraged the hellhound. Dragging its charred body, it opened its massive mouth, roared into the classroom, and a burst of darkness turned the desks and chairs to ashes instantly. The two people beside the desks were reduced to debris. Seeing that the hellhound could withstand Xiao Wanru's Bishao Divine Thunder, I decided to take action myself. The mimicry divine weapon, the heaven-opening axe, made a powerful entrance, whistling straight towards the hellhound, and I followed closely behind, charging at the hellhound. Although the hellhound was agile and dodged the heaven-opening axe's attack, I followed like a wild bull, knocking the hellhound to the ground. Xiao Wanru quickly handed me her weapon, and I gave the hellhound no chance to counterattack, directly slashing its throat. Then I walked to the hellhound's corpse, cut it open, and extracted a pure white crystal from its body. In the past, these crystals were called spirit crystals by the Transcendents. By absorbing them, Transcendents had the chance to advance. It was the fastest and most stable way to progress. However, not all mutant beasts could produce crystals. Only a very few could generate low-grade spirit crystals from their bodies. The higher the quality of the spirit crystal within, the stronger the mutant beast's power. Remembering how Xiao Wanru never abandoned me in life and death in the past, and knowing I had awakened the Pangu bloodline talent, I gave the spirit crystal to Xiao Wanru.
Place it on your forehead and absorb it with your mind.
Xiao Wanru took the spirit crystal and without hesitation followed my instructions. As the light faded, the spirit crystal in Xiao Wanru's hand had disappeared, and she looked refreshingly ethereal, though this was just an outward appearance. Her substantial talent growth was even more significant, reaching the level of a second tier awakened. At the beginning of this global mutation, the power of a second tier awakened was already enough to handle most crises. I then walked over to the girl who had screamed, attracting the hellhound, and with a swift motion, struck her down. The girl's head rolled to the ground, and I fiercely scanned the surroundings.
In the apocalypse, one must still pay for their foolishness.
Only a dozen or so people were left alive at the scene.
Chenji, we all listen to you now. Whatever you tell us to do, we'll do it.
At that moment, a desperate cry for help came from outside the classroom, mixed with the roars of mutant beasts echoing outside. I knew that the school's mutant beasts had started to gather in groups. I remember in my past life, the school was overcrowded, and many students mutated into monstrous beasts, leading to an army of these creatures appearing at the school. Even though I have awakened the heaven-opening axe now, I am powerless against thousands of these monstrous beasts. I quickly shut the classroom door. Don't just stand there. Hurry and move the desks and chairs to block the windows and doors, I shouted to everyone in the corner. After a brief hesitation, driven by the instinct to survive, they quickly got up and followed my instructions to block the doors and windows. As the army of beasts approached, the class beauty, Xiao Xiao Chanqian recognized Xiao Wei, her roommate and best friend, fleeing in front of the beasts. At this moment, Xiao Wei outside the classroom was already in a terrible state, which instantly flooded Xiao Chanqian with sympathy. In an instant, Xiao Chanqian rushed to the classroom door, reaching out her hands, ready to push away the desk blocking the door. At that moment, I came to Xiao Chanqian's side and held her tightly.
Do you want us all to die with her?
My cold voice came through, and a strong hand gripped Xiao Chanqian's wrist tightly.
Chenjie, what do you mean? Xiao Wei is about to die. I can't just watch and do nothing.
Seeing that I wouldn't let go, Xiao Chanqian became angry and embarrassed. Chenjie, how can you be so cold and heartless? I smirked. Fine. If you think I'm cold, then go be a saint yourself. With that, I activated my mimicry armor, opened the door, pushed Xiao Chanqian out, and gently closed the door again. Xiao Chanqian stood in the corridor, immediately frightened. She turned back and frantically knocked on the door.
Chenjie, I was wrong. I was just anxious for a moment. Please help me hold on.
The mutated monsters outside the corridor saw the crying Xiao Chanqian. Their pupils turned red, and they rushed at her while everyone inside the classroom remained silent, huddled in the corner. They listened to the sounds of the beasts fighting over their prey outside the corridor, not daring to make a sound. I stood straight behind the door, my face tense, ready to fight to the death if any mutated monsters broke in, determined to at least escort Xiao Wanru out of the school.
To maintain access, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell icon to stay informed.